Hey everybody, just doing a bit of a holiday update, wishing everybody a happy new year and happy holidays. Hope everybody had a great time, and was just going to go over some of the stuff I picked up while I was on holidays. I had the opportunity to visit my folks with my family in the US and took advantage of some of the US prices, which, man, as a Canadian, I didn't have to pay any customs because I met the threshold, and I got to really save a lot of money. Really took care of the first at least quarter of this year for some painting and reading. And one of the things that you can see right here that I held off on last year was 7th edition. I actually had a friend send me a file where I was able to kind of see the rules, and have just been using that for when I play the one game at Kill Team. I haven't been playing that much, but I was able to get this for 70 US, which is just amazing compared to paying, 100 Canadian. And so this was good. Like, I was quite happy to be able to do that. I got 6th edition not right when it came out, but a little bit after, and it did, like everybody says, feel really quick. And if you guys remember, for those of you that are a bit more of a longer viewers, I took some time off from playing the game of 40K. I still was always painting, and I was really hesitant on picking this up because of the price and just how fast I bought the other one. I really liked, this isn't going to be a review of this, but two quick things is I really like the design and the sleeve and the way they do this. I hope that it doesn't come out for a while again. I don't want to have to do it again. This is a really good format, though. I really liked how the rules were like this. The one thing I was just surprised at when glancing through the rules is that they took away the general weapons index. So in the back, for the last number of rules that I'm aware of, they had some general weapons index where it showed, basic Eldar weapons, basic Space Marine weapons, a lot more detail like that. And I was really surprised that it's gone. People can say, yeah, codexes should be able to cover that. You just get your codex and you'll have your weapons in it. I suppose that's fine, but I kind of liked the transparency in the game before, even when you were just thinking about what you were going to do. If you wanted to look up a basic Eldar weapon and you're a Space Marine player, you could see it in the back of the book and say, okay, I'm going against this, whatever. I can prepare a little bit. Like, I don't need an Eldar codex to play against Eldar. Like, don't have to take their word for it. Like, I can just look in the back and just see what some of the basic weapon profiles are. They took it out of here as far as I can tell. Correct me if I'm otherwise. I looked through this thing pretty detailed for it. They took it out, and I think that's a bit of a mistake in my mind, but don't want to make that the thrust of the video today, or even of my review of this, because actually I really do like this format overall. And at that price point, at 70 US, I was quite happy with it. And so, yeah, glad to have the official rules. Models. I am continuing this year on my Loyalist army, and I wanted a land speeder, at least one, and so I picked myself up a land speeder for Knights of Griffin. So we will see this decked out in orange. I have done Tactical Squad already, but it was actually, if you remember, the Assault on Black Reach set that was used and had some damage, a little bit of damage, and I cleaned them up, and I really was testing out my color scheme and how I was going to paint my knights. I was happy with how they came out. They'll stand in great. I even have like an old guy with a missile launcher that I bought separately from an older set. But I always wanted to try out the new, I wanted to paint and own the new Tactical Squad. And because I was going to have at least 2 tactical squads, so that's no big deal. So I picked that guy. Now, I'm not planning on allying one squad of Chaos with Space Marines. I'm not even sure if that's allowed. I haven't even looked it up. It probably isn't. Even if it is, I am starting to do some Chaos, as I've talked about and you've seen with my Sorcerer. I have some plans for these. It's not as obvious as it looks. Like, I've got some bits coming from Forge World and different things. This guy's for the future, but because I could get some good prices while I was there, I wanted to pick it up. And so that's it for models, just for, I have models already to paint even before I bought these, but I needed these guys. I felt like I needed them. There's a local group here that in Calgary that is going to be playing a bit of Kill Team, and so we've probably got 7 or 8 guys, I would say. I don't know how many are serious, but I would say it sounds like 5 or 6 for sure are serious, but I don't know. But the Chaos and the Loyalists and my Elder, I'll be doing Kill Team, but in particular, even I'd like to build my Loyalist Marines to even be at up to 5 to 1,000 points eventually. That's about it, all I'm looking at. I'm not looking at too much more, although I am looking at allying them with Mechanicum eventually. My fluff I've talked about in previous videos, where they are, because their Griffin homeworld is destroyed, and there was the Griffin Forge world that was also destroyed with Mechanicum. They're now considered even in the book, a space crusading fleet, but in the fluff that I'm creating, they are allied with the Mechanicum that was also destroyed and survived from the same region. And so I will have Mechanicum type stuff allying with them in the future. And so yeah, it'd be a cool painting project. It's more of a fluff. Well, it's not just fluff. I'm planning on using them, but it was spurned on by a fluff painting project. I ended up getting a few books because, again, US prices are better. It wasn't as different when it came to the books as it was for like the Warhammer 40k rules. Like there was the difference between 70 and 78, I think it is, and 100 is significant to me. But this is just $2 off on each book, just about. I've been filling the gap. I've been doing a lot of reading of the Heresy, and a little bit beyond, but mostly the Heresy. I bought one more besides this, but it's upstairs on my reading table, or bedside table. It's the Descent of Angels, was like one of the earliest books I never read. I never read any of the Dark Angel stuff. I actually quite like it. I was never that big on Dark Angels, to be honest. But now that I'm, reading it more, like that might change. I think the story I've been reading so far, Descent of Angels, is quite cool, or Angels Descending, I think it is. I read Thousand Suns, but I've never read Prospero Burns, and so I wanted to read that one. And I never read Nemesis, which is even before that one. This one's supposed to be really cool. It's more about the assassins, I hear. I don't know. So I almost see this as a bit more like Mechanicum, or which one was it? Oh, I don't know. There was one of the earlier books when you kind of get away from the Space Marine chapters a bit, and it's sort of more... They tend to be really interesting at times, because you do learn sometimes more about the universe of 40k when we actually leave, like, the Adeptus Astartes, because it's just huge other aspects of it just come together. I'm a big Thousand Suns fan after reading Thousand Suns. Hint, hint. We might be seeing some of them someday within my chaos. Araman Exile I've never read. This seems to be an easy read. It's like actually a really big print. But I wanted to read this just because I really got interested in Araman as a character when reading Thousand Suns. And so, yeah, the Chaos Sorcerers I just find really cool. Talon of Horus actually has a lot of food for the brain if you're interested in that stuff as well. So guys, yeah, my plans aren't changing that much from what I talked about in end of December or mid-December for painting. I just extrapolated and went a little bit more detail on a video that I just put up previously for Nick's painting challenge. One other thing I'll just say as final for update, for those of you that are more interested in my historical stuff than the 40k, because I've been talking a lot more about 40k recently, is I'm really, really psyched for the Muskets and Tomahawks demo that's coming up. And I'm already, even though I said to myself I wasn't going to buy anything for, like after I do this demo, I'm just going to see how people look into it. I think I'm already going back on that. Like I just love painting the French and Indian War stuff, that even if nobody else gets into it in my area, and I know some of my personal friends that play these games will play, if I supply the models at a minimum, like I know I'll be able to play the game. But I see myself getting more terrain and painting more terrain this year for muskets and tomahawks, and as well for bolt action. I've got some more stuff to paint for bolt action that I'll be doing throughout the year. Bolt action, looking back on 2014, has been the most kind to me as probably any game I've played as far as fun and game time. I'll admit to you that World War II, although it's very interesting to me and I kind of get into the history of it, it's not my personal favorite time period for playing these games. But so many people have gravitated towards bolt action that I know, and so many people have gotten into it, and it's offered so many games, you know, like really good times, that I'm going to continue with it, and I'm enjoying the idea of getting more and painting more World War II. Because, yeah, like, you know, sometimes, like, the genre, the theme, whether it be fantasy or historical, or a certain kind of fantasy or a certain kind of historical, even though it's not necessarily your favorite, sometimes either the game itself is the most fun, or it just so happens that a lot of people, you know, play it, and it just provides a lot of opportunity for gaming. And that's the way bolt action's been. It's been the best investment of 2014 of time and energy and money, by far. Better than 40K for me, better than, you know, well, muskets and tomahawks. I'm pretty sure there aren't any players really in my local area yet. I'm kind of introducing it to it, so I don't think it will... I don't think right away, at least, there's any chance of it to do as well as bolt action. But maybe that'll change. But yeah, so those of you that are into the World War II stuff, I'm going to definitely be continuing to do it. French and Indian War stuff is where I think my passion's going to be for historical, because I just really enjoy the time period and the models and the game so far from what I know of it. But on the other side of the coin, big year for 40K. For me. So, alright guys, I really appreciate you watching my ramble. Haven't put much up in a bit, I apologize for that, but I've just been taking some time off with the family, and now I'm back. Catch you guys later. Take care.